At night, Dubai still looks full. The skyline glows, the highways move, the lights never switch off. From a distance, it feels like a city that never slows down. But step into certain neighborhoods, and the feeling changes. Empty streets, dark balconies, buildings that look finished, but not lived in. Shops open, but no customers inside. It doesn't look like collapse, it looks like silence. And that silence is uncomfortable, because these are not abandoned villages. These are billion-dollar master-planned communities, sold out on paper, marketed as the future. And yet, in parts of them, something is missing. People, activity, life. So the real question is not, is Dubai empty? It clearly isn't. The real question is much more precise and much more unsettling. Why are some of Dubai's biggest clusters starting to feel like ghost towns, even while the city keeps breaking records? Dubai was built on a powerful idea: build first, people will come later. And for years, that strategy worked. Massive communities were launched, towers sold quickly, investors rushed in, and developers kept building. The system was simple: sell units off plan, use that momentum to fund more construction, and trust that demand would catch up. In many areas, it did. Places like downtown and Marina filled fast, but the model didn't stop there. It expanded, faster, larger, into new districts, new edges of the city, new megazones. That's where the pattern began to change. Because when construction moves faster than population growth, supply starts to stretch ahead of demand. And when supply moves too far ahead, you don't get collapse, you get emptiness. Quiet buildings, underused streets, areas that feel finished, but not fully alive. The shift didn't happen overnight, it happened quietly. New clusters kept launching, more apartments entered the market, investors continued buying, but many were not end users. They were holding, waiting, renting later, selling later. That created a different kind of occupancy. Units were technically owned, but not always lived in, and that difference matters, because a building can be sold out and still feel empty. Lights off, no daily movement, no community rhythm. This is where the ghost town feeling begins, not because nothing exists, but because not enough people are actively using what exists. And when that pattern repeats across multiple districts, it stops being a coincidence. It becomes a structural issue. Take Dubai South, a massive, long-term vision built around the airport and logistics hub. On paper, it represents the future of the city: wide roads, modern buildings, clean infrastructure. But large parts of it still feel early, not abandoned, but ahead of its time. Population hasn't fully caught up yet. The same can be seen in Expo City, Dubai. World-class design, strong branding, but outside major events, everyday footfall remains limited in certain zones. These are not failed projects. They are projects waiting for demand to mature. But until that happens, parts of them can feel quiet. Too quiet for spaces designed to be busy. Then there's Dubai Land, one of the largest master-planned zones in Dubai. Huge potential, multiple communities, but also uneven development. Some areas are active, others still depend on future infrastructure, schools, malls, transport links, to reach full life. That uneven growth creates contrast. One street feels alive, the next feels empty, and that contrast shapes perception. Because people don't judge a master plan, they judge what they see in front of them. International City shows a different side of the problem: not new, but aging. High supply, older buildings, strong rental demand in some parts, but weaker appeal compared to newer districts. This creates a split. Some clusters stay busy, others lose attention. Over time, that creates pockets that feel neglected, not empty in numbers, but empty in energy. Jumeirah Village Circle, JVC, tells another story. It's one of the most popular residential zones right now, but it's also one of the biggest in terms of supply. Thousands of units delivered in a short period. High demand keeps it active, but oversupply risk is always present. Some buildings fill quickly, others take longer. And during that gap, you see empty balconies, quiet entrances, half-active streets. Not a collapse, but a delay between supply and absorption. Move into Business Bay, and the pattern shifts again. It's central, iconic, and growing. But even here, there are pockets, especially in certain towers or office zones, that feel quiet after working hours. High density doesn't always mean constant activity. If usage is uneven, office during day, residential at night, there are periods where spaces feel empty, and that creates the illusion of underuse. Arjun and Dubai Production City, IMPZ, show a similar pattern: rapid development, increasing supply, but still building identity. Some buildings are active, others are waiting, streets feel partially alive, not fully integrated yet. These are transition zones, caught between growth and maturity, and during that transition, they can feel like ghost towns. Dubai Silicon Oasis adds another layer: a planned tech and residential hub, functional, organized, but compared to more central areas, it can feel quieter, especially in commercial zones where demand is not evenly distributed. Again, not empty in reality, but less dense in activity. And then there are Dubai Islands, Dera Islands. Massive ambition, long-term vision, but still in early phases. When large-scale developments are only partially completed, the finished parts can feel isolated, surrounded by what's still coming, and that creates the strongest ghost town feeling, not because something failed, but because the full plan isn't complete yet. The data behind all of this makes the situation clearer. Dubai is not lacking demand. Tourism is strong. Population is growing. But supply is growing faster. Analysts have projected that around 210,000 new housing units are expected over a short period. That's a huge number, and when supply rises at that scale, absorption takes time. Fitch even projected potential price corrections of up to 15% as supply pressures increase. That doesn't mean collapse, it means adjustment. But during adjustment, emptiness appears in pockets, and those pockets shape perception. The system itself explains why this keeps happening. Dubai builds ahead of demand. That's how it grows fast. But building ahead also means there will always be phases where areas feel underused. The city is not designed to grow evenly. It grows in waves. One district fills, another launches, a third waits. And during those waiting periods, silence appears. That silence is temporary, but very visible. The human impact is subtle. Residents in quieter clusters feel disconnected. Fewer shops, less activity, longer travel for services. Businesses struggle in low-footfall areas. Some close early, others never open. This slows the natural growth of community life, and without community life, even modern areas feel empty. There are deeper forces behind this. Investor-driven buying means not every unit is meant for immediate use. Rising prices push some residents to delay moving in. Infrastructure timing affects livability. And competition between districts spreads demand across many locations instead of concentrating it. All of this creates fragmentation, not decline, but uneven growth. Globally, this is not unique. Cities like Shanghai, London, and even parts of New York have faced similar issues: high supply, investor ownership, delayed occupancy. The difference is speed. Dubai builds faster than most cities. And when you build fast, gaps become more visible. The realization is simple, but important. Dubai is not becoming a ghost city, but parts of it can feel like ghost towns at certain stages of development, not because they failed, but because they are ahead of demand. The city is still growing, still attracting people, still expanding. But growth at this speed always comes with imbalance, and that imbalance creates silence in places designed for noise. Then ending. So here's the real question. When a city builds faster than people can fill it, is that a sign of decline or just a phase of rapid growth? Are these empty clusters warnings or just unfinished chapters? Tell me what you think. Have you seen these quiet areas yourself? And if you want more deep, simple breakdowns like this, stay with me. Because sometimes a city doesn't need to collapse to feel empty. It just needs to grow too fast.
请注意，蓝外国际机场轮距烟草管制